Welcome back again, guys, from Tampa Bay on this absolutely perfect day. 68 degrees. We had a cold front come in finally. Oh, this is just awesome biking weather. I'm running down to Safety Harbor, which is just about 20 minutes south of me here, down McMullen, to drop off a Christmas present for a buddy. And I'm not going to say what it is because he might watch this video. I know he catches some of my two videos, not all of them. Very busy dude, just like me. He just got home from being in a parade for Safety Harbor. Oh man, lots of stuff going on. I got a bunch of cool work projects that are finally snapping into place. Starting to do little, pretty much 1 to 2 minute video commercials for other local wedding industry business owners in the area. Got the first one done and really love the way it turned out, so should have a bunch of those more rolling through. Whole bunch of toy runs and stuff going on in the area, as I'm sure in at least the areas where it's warm enough to ride, you also have them. Man, there is probably 20 of them just in December here. There were even a couple in late November. I just can't get into them though. I mean, nothing against charity or anything like that, but they're just a bunch of cruisers putzing along at 5 to 10 miles an hour from bar to bar. It's just a poker run where you also donate. So it's like, nope, can't do it. Like I said in my earlier ride video, I've done the poker runs, I've done the cruiser meets, given it a fair shake. I just have no interest in it. It's just not interesting to me. Well, I just about had a heart attack. Had a phone call come in and the ringtone was at full volume. And it interrupts whenever I'm recording. So I know silences it for you guys, but it overwrites everything else. Man, did that scare me. So yeah, like I said, done with the poker runs. Toy runs, pretty much the same thing. If they had something that was just a normal, non-cruiser bike meet kind of thing, I mean, I'd be all over that. But it seems like there are only two types of groups, at least in this area. You've got the sport bike riders that, I mean, they have a lot of fun, but let's be honest, they go kind of crazy. And that's definitely not for everybody. Around here, definitely not for hardly anybody. And then you have the cruiser stuff, where it's just bar to bar, putzing along, boring. They don't do anything. So, man, I don't know. I was thinking they would have something at Quaker Steak. Around here, they have a weekly bike night every Wednesday at Quaker Steak. And it's a restaurant. They just use the parking lot. But every single Wednesday, you've got upwards of 1,000 bikes sitting there. And they have live bands and a few vendors and stuff like that. But the point is, they gather all kinds of people. And they get, every type of biker will come there. Because it's not centric around anything in particular. I've always wondered why they don't have something going on at or from that event, or you know, something around that. They've already got the audience, but nothing really happens other than the same thing of, hey, let's just gather around, food specials, drink specials, little local bands, and that's about it. That's fun, but there's a lot of potential there that they're missing out on. I've actually thought about being a vendor there. Had a couple different ideas, one of which was photography, you know, doing my cool bike photos, bike portraits. But I'll tell you that the utter lack of interest, which is astounding to me, just killed the idea. I've run ads, I haven't run it in a little while, but I ran them for months, several months, on Facebook, Craigslist, word of mouth. Had a few people say they were interested, never did anything, never booked anything. Other than that, nothing. I mean, I wasn't asking an arm and a leg. $40 I was down to for awesome bike portraits and nothing, no interest. So my feeling is, if nobody's interested at 40 bucks, nobody's going to be interested in what it would take to pay to be a vendor, set up a tent, have all the equipment there on site, and, you know, make a go of it there. It certainly wouldn't be 40 bucks. So, not going to happen. What I notice is set up there is your typical fair type stuff. You've got the massage people, the insurance booths, t-shirts for $5, that kind of stuff. But yeah, nothing really unique or interesting. The stuff you see everywhere. Cops are coming out. It's that time of year. A lot of enforcement for the holidays and a lot of accidents. This looks like an accident. The Snowbirds are here in force. Our neighbors 2 houses down across the street finally made it down a few days ago. That was pretty late. Usually that house has been filled early November, but they waited an extra month this year. Oh my God, does it make a difference on the roads? Just clogging up the traffic. If you don't know what a snowbird is, it's all the elderly retirees that come down for the winter to escape the cold. Well, they come down and it makes the roads hell. It really does. They'll sit out here doing 15 under in the left lane. No signals. Signals when they're not turning. Riding the brakes all the way down the road. I mean, they really snarl up traffic. It makes a huge difference. Of course, everybody around here is complaining about it on Facebook. Rightfully so. Oh man, the major roads here. This one isn't too bad, but this is a Saturday. This is really busy. 19 gets absolutely horrendous, but there have been, just in the past week, lots and lots of accidents reported in the news. So-and-so ran a red light, so-and-so T-boned so-and-so, and they're always snowbirds. It's like they're used to being the only car for miles up in Illinois and Ohio, and they come down here and they can't deal with bumper-to-bumper traffic. I'll tell you what, if you have to go out during the day, during the winter, oh, like me, you miss going out at night. I usually do my shopping and stuff in the middle of the night, specifically to avoid crowds. I had to go out the other day, and I had to go to the worst places in the world. 2 different malls, middle of the day. I think it was a Wednesday, Tuesday, something like that. But I was looking for one particular item for the wife for Christmas that she wanted. And it was only at the Apple store, it turned out. There's a couple subsidiaries. There's a chain called Peach Mac and one called Simply Mac. They might be related. The websites are kind of confusing, but they're only in the malls around here. Now, my Apple store, my nearest one, is in Tampa at International Mall, a very high-end mall. And that was the farthest away, so the closest one was here in Clearwater. I hit that first, and they had every color except the one she wanted for the watch band. They had just sold out of the one that she wanted, so I had to go to International. Oh my God, it took me twice as long just in riding, and I was on the bike just to get anywhere. I went across 60, which is a 4-lane divided highway across the bay, and it's just bumper to bumper for nothing. I actually rode on the shoulder because it was as far as I could see stopped. The cops down here don't really care as long as you're not being an ass about it. And I was only doing 10 or 15 in the bike lane, in the bicycle lane, which is on the right hard shoulder. There weren't any bicycles. I mean, I wasn't doing anything unsafe. But I'm not going to sit there in stop and go traffic for miles if I can avoid it. So I got through it all, and it was literally for one slow driver. There was nothing. I mean, there are no intersections or merging or anything. It's just one slow asshole. And it's about a 5-mile stretch, so there's nowhere else you can go or turn around. Speaking of that, I ran into another situation where being on a bike really came in handy when I was coming home from the drag races. It was about 11:30, and I was coming up I-75. And right as I got on the freeway, I noticed a guy reversing down the on-ramp, and there was a car on the shoulder. I thought maybe he was going to help that car or something. But then I get around the big long sweeper, and I see why he was reversing. It was because the freeway was completely stopped. I couldn't see it from the road I was getting on from because it was going under the freeway overpass. I'm like, oh crap. I mean, it was stopped. And this is an eight lane divided freeway. So I'm like, screw that. I go on the shoulder, which if you do that, be very, very cautious of tire damage, because there's a whole bunch of debris and crap on a freeway shoulder. It never gets swept and it never gets cleaned, and there's no traffic to move any of the stuff off. So I was going, again, slowly, carefully, staying pretty far to the right to avoid anybody that was going to be a dick and try to get over, which there were a few that did, but just in case somebody opened their door. So I'm putzing along, watching for debris, and that turned out to be a 10-mile backup for an accident, and the freeway was down to one lane. So that was a very good use of the shoulder being on a motorcycle. And I wasn't alone. On the way there, ended up picking up 5 more motorcycles, 2 of which were really annoying. They were 2 ladies on Harleys and could not ride worth a shit. They were doing under 10 miles an hour with their feet down the whole time. Like, they're just so inexperienced or scared. They don't know how to ride slowly. And if any car was an inch over the line, they would stop. They wouldn't go around. They had 6, 7, 8 feet of clearance and they wouldn't go around. And I'm revving my engine. They're looking behind me, getting all mad. I'm like, get out of the way. If you're going to be doing this on the shoulder, you don't sit there. Just keep moving. So finally, the other lady, I think, got tired of it and went around the one in front and to hurry her up. And they finally got up to speed. And then, like I said, we picked up some more that were sitting in traffic, and they're like, hey, chain of motorcycles. So we all got through it very, very quickly and safely. And anybody saying, oh, you shouldn't be on the shoulder, it's dangerous. No, you know what's more dangerous? Sitting in traffic on a motorcycle. The odds of getting rear-ended like that are astronomically higher than anything hitting you going safely and slowly around everything on a clear shoulder. The odds of somebody being on their phone, moving up in traffic, and running into the back of you is extremely high. I mean, that happens with cars. And that's a big car with a lot more lights. It's a lot easier to not see a motorcycle and do that, or be yelling at your kid or looking down and changing the radio station while you're creeping forward. Or when traffic starts to move and then suddenly stops. And if that person isn't looking at that exact moment, bam. So, no thank you. I will risk a meaningless ticket any day over getting rear-ended like that. It really depends on traffic if I'm going to call it. I'm not talking about traffic's moving slowly. I'm talking about it's not moving, or it's stop and go. That's dangerous. Anyway, just my opinion. And I'm not talking about lane splitting. I'm still not going to be doing that ever down here, even if it's legal. Man, I wouldn't do it for 5-10 years because people aren't used to it. That I have no problem with doing it in principle. It's the fact that the other people are just so at risk of taking you out doing that. Here, it's different in California where everybody's used to it. It's a normal thing. Or in other countries. Pretty much the whole rest of the world, it's legal. It's a normal thing. It's no big deal. But in 49 of our 50 states, nobody is used to it, ever. So, it's a big risk. That's all I'm saying. Anyway, I'm almost here. I'm going to drop off this present, run back home. Still got a lot of work to do. Hope you all have a rest of your beautiful weekend. I know some of the country is in a bit of a warm spell, but I'll take the coolness. This is absolutely beautiful. Thanks for watching. Don't forget to subscribe, give me a thumbs up, and we'll see you next time.